Are you leading your schedule, or is your schedule leading you? Hey, I'm Jonno White, and welcome to the Leadership Question of the Day podcast. I'm going to give you 3 tips today around your schedule. And as always, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed and followed and liked and shared. If you haven't done that, please do that now. That helps us to help more leaders to become the very best they can be. Let's jump straight into it. So schedules are interesting things. Recently, I've come up with this idea, which is part of my time management masterclass that I'm doing at the moment, which is called the Tetris schedule. And the way that I learned this is I remember sitting down and doing an exercise where I filled out an elephant because I was feeling so overwhelmed. That was this piece of paper with a picture of an elephant on it, broken into pieces. And I tried to break up everything I was doing into different pieces of the elephant. And the goal of the exercise was to help me break up all of my projects into bite-sized pieces. But after a couple of hours, I looked down at the piece of paper and I had not only filled the elephant, I'd actually filled the whole piece of paper. And I remember just feeling so discouraged and just really hopeless, because I thought, there's no way I can do this. This is impossible. And for me, I had a big epiphany when I went to a conference and the speaker got up and talked about schedule. And even though he didn't say it like this, what he was saying was, if you are trying to play Tetris with your schedule, where you try to fit bits and pieces, I want to spend more time with the kids. Okay, where am I going to fit that in? I really want to do this new course around my faith, which is really important to me. Where am I going to fit that in? I really want to invest in my relationship with my spouse, with my partner. Where am I going to fit that in? If we treat it like Tetris and try to just lock in each piece, we end up losing the game. And the truth is that no one is good at playing Tetris with their schedule, because there's no way to win. You just end up trying to cram as many of these pieces in, and you lose every game. Instead, the better way to approach your schedule, which is the epiphany I had at this conference, is to actually clear out all the blocks. Instead of playing Tetris and dropping things in from the top, clear out all the blocks and start from the bottom again. Start again. Clear out your schedule. Literally clear it, or create a second schedule, or put it on a piece of paper where you imagine you had no commitments. And then from the ground up, put in what are the most important things to you. Start with them. Maybe that is time with your kids. Maybe it's investing in your relationship with your spouse or partner. Maybe it is around your faith. Maybe it is around doing some professional or personal development. And so the first tip I want to give you around whether you are leading your schedule or your schedule is leading you is to build it from the ground up. The things that are most important to you will never fit in amongst all of the urgent things that are on in your life. So you have to build them from the ground up and make them the priority, and then play Tetris with the little bits and pieces, right? But don't be playing Tetris with the things that are most important. So that's the first tip I'd give you. The second tip when it comes to your schedule is to ask a really simple question, but a powerful question. And that question is, do I have to do this? Do I have to do this? There's some great questions around delegation that sort of go like this. Am I the only one who can do this? But in this case, it's an even simpler question. Do I have to do this? Is this something? If I'm building it from the ground up, sometimes you run into things that are on your schedule and you go, actually, I don't have to do that. That's a choice. That's something I've chosen to commit to that's actually no longer helpful, and you can get rid of it. And the third tip that I want to give you around your schedule, particularly for those who are entrepreneurs and you're trying to wear 10 different hats, or for those who are leading in a capacity where you are doing transformational leadership, so you've got massive culture change on your hands, or for those leaders who are dealing with lots of change, basically, because entrepreneurs have to be, startups are just absolute change agents. Every startup has to be changing. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about what's most important right now. This is the most powerful question that I ask leaders, that I ask entrepreneurs in terms of short-term gains. And the reason it's so important is so much of our momentum is lost when we lose focus. So much of our momentum is lost when we lose focus. And when we ask this question, what's most important right now, we're saying firstly that one thing is most important, which is in and of itself is a powerful statement. There's actually one thing that's more important than everything else right now. Not forever, just right now. What is that thing? And so for leaders, entrepreneurs, where you're dealing with a lot of change, or you've got a heart to see transformation in your team, in yourself, in your organization, in your startup, what's most important right now? And prioritize that on your schedule, because that piece of culture, that big project, that yes, there's 10 projects that are on, but that one's most important. Make sure you're building from the ground up time to invest for yourself, for your team, for your organization in that, even if it means you have to say no to other things, even if there are trade-offs. Greg McKeown has a great book called Essentialism, and he talks about trade-offs, that when we choose A over B, there's always a trade-off. Or when we choose A, there's always a trade-off to do with B. Whereas we like to live in a fantasy world where we go, I can do A and B without any trade-offs. Whereas the truth is, if you pick A, there's going to be some level of trade-offs with B, C, D. And so work out what's most important right now. If that's helped you to get clear in your leadership, then comment wherever you're watching or listening with the word clarity. And I just want to thank you again for subscribing, following, liking, sharing. If you haven't done that, do it right now. Just click that button. Helps us to help more leaders to become the very best they can be, and it'll keep you in the loop with all of the great content that we're producing to help you achieve your goals and move forward as a leader. Thanks for hanging out. I love spending time with you, and I look forward to catching you next time. Have an awesome day wherever you are, and we'll talk soon. Cheers.